This is an Ielts speaking test simulation, part 1. Hi, welcome.
Hi.
Please tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Sarah Kelson. I enjoy spending time with friends. I usually go out to certain bars in the city after work. I enjoy working in hospitality, and I've been working in hospitality for over 10 years now. I really enjoy talking to people, getting to know who they are, just having great conversations with them, and usually it ends up being on a deep, meaningful level. And I also love to travel. You can ask me anything about traveling to all types of destinations. I can tell you I've probably been there.
Oh, great. Now I want to ask you a little bit about television. How often do you watch television?
I would say I probably watch around 2 to 3 hours a night, just depending on my schedule. Usually after work I can go out with friends or go to the gym or spend time with my partner. But depending on that, usually it's around 2 or 3 hours a night.
And which channel do you usually watch on TV?
Well, it varies, but probably between channel 7, 9 and 10, and sometimes I watch Netflix as well.
Do you think that most programs on television are good?
I think there is a variety of content on television these days. I'm not saying all is good, but there are so much reality shows these days, which is probably not my kind of show. I really enjoy watching shows like CSI and mystery kind of sort of based themed shows. But I feel there is so much reality television on TV these days that is not really my cup of tea.
Do you enjoy the advertisements they have on television?
I think there is a variety of ads on television. The ones that have a really annoying tune that gets stuck in your head for days can be really frustrating, and you just can't get it out of your head for days. But there are ads that I would say that I've seen them on television and it's done in a certain way that I've actually gone out and bought the product.
Do you think that most programs on television are good?
I think there's a variety of content. There is a lot more reality television these days, and that probably is not really my favourite genre of television. I really enjoy murder mystery shows, things like CSI, and there's a variety of sort of mystery shows that are on the mainstream channels that I do tend to watch at times.
Now we're going to move on to part 2 of the Ielts test. Now I'm going to get you to describe a friend of your family that you remember from your childhood. You should say who the person was, how the family knew this person, and how often this person visited your family, and explain why you remember this person. You'll have 1 minute to have a think about your answers, and you can take some notes if you like, and then I'll get you to talk about the topic for 2 minutes. Great, now tell me about this friend of your family's.
Okay, well, her name is Rose Waterbreak, and she was a friend of my mum. They actually went to school together, and she would come over to our house, especially in the summer, and we will all go down to the beach. I have one younger sister, and she was 2 years younger than me, and I remember one specific summer she came over and we all went down to our local beach, and we were down there probably for a good 2 hours. We took an umbrella, we took lunch. I remember me and my sister were around 7 and 9 years old, and we were playing in the water and making sandcastles. And Rose, we used to call her Auntie Rose because she was my mum's age, and she was deaf as well. So we always used to have this little notebook that we would have to write down because she could lip read, but at times it was miscommunication. So we always had this notebook. My mum had the notebook, and we would tell her to write things down for us. And I always just remember that one summer because it was also her birthday in the following week, and so that was us celebrating her birthday as well. So we would. My mum made this very nice lunch where it was a bunch of sandwiches and salad and some roast chicken, and my mum was a really good cook, so she always liked spending time in the kitchen, and that day was really special with Rose. So Aunt Rose would come over to the house probably, it was always more in the summertime, but it would be 3 or 4 times because it's school holidays, so it was around December to about February. She would come over 3 or 4 times. And then, I wouldn't probably personally see her throughout the year as much, but it was always summertime. She would spend, I think just because we were on school holidays, and she had a bit more free time from work that she would spend with us. But at times she would spend time with mum when we were at school, but we wouldn't really see her. But it was just usually those summer school holidays. And she was just always in our lives growing up. And we had this special bond, and because she was really close with mum, we just got to know her really well, and she was a really lovely lady.
Now we're going to move on to part 3 of the Ielts speaking test simulation. I want to ask you some questions about family friends. What do you think makes someone a good friend to the family?
I think someone that actually turns up, that actually makes an effort to come and spend time, especially with your friends' children, because they've probably got their own family as well, or other commitments, either work or social commitments. But I think the key thing is if they show up and actually spend quality time with the family or the children of that family, and actually get to know that family quite well, and can tell you, the children are doing this at school, just know them really well, that they actually become part of the family.
And do you think we meet different kinds of friends at different stages in our lives? And in what ways are these type of friends different?
I think that is true. I think you have friends throughout your childhood that sometimes it's either thrown together through being maybe family friends of your parents, their kids, that you kind of grow up together, so you don't really have any choice in that, and you're at a certain school which your parents pick for you, so you kind of grow up with children that have a similar sort of childhood as you. But then when once you finish school, it's up to you what you decide to do. If you go to university or different type of education, and also where that location is, you could either go interstate or go overseas to study, and then to your work colleagues, and also different types of work colleagues. So and your age group also changes as you get older, that you change, and so your friends will change, and certain friends come into your life at a certain reason, maybe to help you with something as well to go through, and as they say, the ones that stick are the ones that are meant to be in your life.
How easy do you think it is to make friends with people of a different age group?
I think as we get older, it is a bit harder to make friends. I think different age groups make it hard, as they have other commitments and might be at a different stage of their life, either with their family or just in social gatherings. They might prefer to do something else than what you would like to do because you're at different age groups. But I think, me personally, the people that I've clicked with, either through work when everyone's a different age, it's always just been similar personality traits and our values. And it doesn't matter if they're 10 years older or 10 years younger. We might be doing different things, but our values line up, and our, what we're interested in are on some level.
Do you think it's possible to be friends with someone that you haven't actually met? And do you think that that is a real friendship?
Yes, definitely. The way society is going these days, which is social media, it's all online, that you connect with people all around the world and you haven't met them in person, but you've sort of chatted over something in common, maybe that a picture that popped up or a place to travel or an article, and maybe you've just connected and you haven't met in person, but at the end of the day, you're still two humans and it's just a different way of communicating.
What kind of influence do you think friends can have on our lives?
I think friends have a huge impact on our lives. I mean, we grow up with friends, friends come and go in your life. Usually you go through a few sort of major life events, which might be graduating from school, graduating from uni, getting married. They're positive life experience, but also there's a lot of life experiences that are not great, which if you lose a friend or if you lose a family member or even just something on a smaller scale, you don't get that job. Friends are always, well, if they're good quality friends, they will always be there to pick you up or to help celebrate that special moment.
How important do you think it is to have friends from different cultures?
I think it helps you become a better person, become a more world-travelled person. I think if you get to know people outside of your culture, your background, your experience of life, you would take on their life experiences from their point of view, and it would just shape you into a better person. And I think it will help you in all types of workplaces or social occasions because you're more equipped to talk to everyone from different backgrounds, and you might be able to say a story that you heard or an experience that you got to experience because you were traveling throughout the world and you got to chat to people and see and experience people in that time.
This ends our Ielts speaking test simulation. Thank you very much for your time today, Sarah.
Thank you for having me.